Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvahatitam Gaganasharasham Tadvamasya Harilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Chalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam. Hi, this is Manitya Ovyananda. Thanks for joining me again for another session. Tonight I wanted to speak about deities. I have a really beautiful experience to share with you that happened to me back in 2012. So, I mentioned before in my videos how I mostly have experiences of feeling energy. I've never had too many visualizations or anything like that, but I do have a really interesting thing that happened, and it was a very physical, visual experience. Back in 2012, I decided to participate in the Nithyananda Acharya sessions. These are teachers training sessions that happened in the Los Angeles Nithyanandeshwara Sadashiva temple. So I went there, I flew there from Chicago. It was my first time doing any of these kind of trainings, and the very first time I've been to the LA temple. And that place itself was an amazing experience just on the first day. Because you just walk in there and, there's your typical reception area, really beautiful, large reception area. And, there were people there to greet me, and the Acharya was there, he greeted me. And he said, "Hey, have you ever been here?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "Let's check out the temple." And I'm like, "Okay." First of all, this place is an old movie theater, which is very interesting because there were a couple of halls there that were really large and great for large occasions where people come for learning and taking classes and having large events. So there's all these various parts to this place. So it wasn't your normal temple. So he took me through these beautiful wooden carved doors into the temple area, which was a large hall, and all around were these beautiful, amazing deities. But as soon as I stepped foot into that place, it was as if I stepped into something. Like you can feel the energy hit you as soon as you walked into the room itself. You know how if you walk outside and it's foggy, you feel a little bit of that vapor on your skin. You can feel like that real quiet. The fog sort of muffles all of the sound, and you have that dampness that you feel when you walk out. So it's definitely a big difference from when you're in the home and then you walk outside of the house. In the same way, when I walked into the temple, I felt that energy hit me in such a powerful place, and such a feeling inside of calmness, like a safe feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but I have to learn to describe it better. But that feeling of safety, of the presence of the deities, of the energy, physical feeling, it was just amazing. So the whole program was actually very beautiful. That it was a week-long program. But every day we had a schedule, so we'd come in and do your usual puja, have the breakfast, all that, and then start the sessions for classes. Then in the evening time, we would do seva, temple seva, which was my favorite. I always enjoyed temple seva. So we got to do various things, helping cleaning up, mostly helping cleaning up and organize things and all. And but one particular night, me and another lady, we had the honor of putting the deities to sleep. So in a lot of the larger Hindu temples, they have what's called Boga Murtis. So they're very cute, small murtis that are they're not representatives, they're actually deities also. But the very large deities, you can't really put them to sleep, But the action of putting the deities to sleep happens in a lot of the major temples. So they use the smaller guys, the beautiful small deities. They're so sweet to connect to. And those they put to sleep, and they have their own bed and their own blankets and everything. It's so nice. So there's a special process where you put them to bed, you do chant, and then you fan them, to relax them so they can go to sleep. Other offerings are made, and that's the last part. In our Sangha, we have special songs also we play for them. So it's very nice, and all the temples around the world do that. And there's a specific time every day. They all do it, and then the same time in the morning, the deities are waking up. So in the morning, they're offered the various things you would use, toothpaste, soap, all the things. And it's so cute because here I got to do it one day because the person was ill that normally does it. And there's even like lipstick and nail polish and everything for Davy. So it's so nice. And they're so sweet. Like they have such an energy, and you feel like you're really taking care of something. Like your heart opens up, when you do this process. That's why the Hindu tradition is awesome in every aspect. But imagine, you get to connect in different ways and open up your being in different ways to that energy. So, yeah, I got to do both. Putting the deities to sleep was a very nice thing also. So anyhow, that evening, it was my very first time doing much at all in the Temple Seva category. It's kind of very new to all of the things. It was only less than a year since I did my first inner awakening. But anyway, so me and this woman, we took the deities, nicely and put them, in their bed. And Shiva and Devi have their own, and then Swamiji's Murti has another one. So we covered them up, and then we started fanning them. And I don't know, somehow we were both very blissful, and we were smiling. And occasionally we would look at each other and smile. And they have these beautiful, I forget the name of them, they're big, puffy kind of plumes that are used to fan the deities. So there's a special way to do it and all. And we were, doing this for some time. It's about 30 minute process. So we're doing this, and we're both there, and, we're looking at the deities because they're, I don't know, for some reason I felt the sense that they were sleeping, because we covered them up and they were sleeping. And then we were very quiet. That's all the respects you give, because we're actually putting them to sleep. All the deities are put to sleep, the lights are dimmed, and then we go out. So nobody should go and disturb that place until morning. So we're continuing to do this, and I just felt such a nice feeling to be able to, perform that, I guess, seva to them. And so we're looking, and I really, for some reason, had the distinct feeling their eyes were closed, but they're not. I mean, they're normally open when they're sitting there. They're standing always in front of the deities during the day, the larger deities. So next thing I know, we're both at the same time kind of looking. And I swear, at that moment, when we both kind of peered over to see how they were doing, their eyes opened up. I am not kidding. So imagine they're closed, and you kind of don't even think of that. It seemed normal. But then when their eyes opened up, and at the very same time that happened, we both looked at each other like, oh my God, So they really, were responding to us, and they opened their eyes. It was so cool. Such an amazing place that is. I had some really cool experiences at the Los Angeles temple. And one Murugan deity kept dropping his earring. Every time I'd go by, he kept sort of dropping his earring. And then my friend was like, because he wants you to fix it. And I'm like, okay. So, I was very shy back then. Now I just enjoy it, I'm like, yes, do something so I can fix and come near you and fix something. So I enjoy playing with the deities. And even here at Trishula Madina, sometimes after the Abhishekam, sometimes volunteers will do it. And if there's anybody new, maybe there's something a little bit out of order. Maybe the jewelry's a little off. And I know Swamiji likes all the jewelry to be symmetrically aligned and balanced. And, these little subtle things. And so I'm like, oh, well, I better go fix it. So I enjoy going up and fixing their clothes or their jewelry and making sure it's nice. It's nice to connect to them, and I feel like doing some little thing for them, because we don't always have time to go and sit there all day with them, or maybe so much at all sit there. And so it's nice that I find a reason, to go spend a little time with them. So it's such a blessing, and they're so nice to connect with. So if you have a temple near you, especially a Nithyanandeshwara Sadashiva temple, please go and just perform some seva, even an hour on the weekend, or any Hindu temple. Just go there and just be in that atmosphere. It'll do so much for your being, and it's such a beautiful tradition. And I am very adamant about keeping the Hindu temples pure and run as they should. So much nowadays, I'm hearing about how certain organizations have taken over the temple, not the original sampradayas or the original communities that were taking those temples, and they're just turning into I don't even want to say, but they're not being maintained. The deities are not being maintained properly and disrespected, and it really ticks me off when I hear about it. So I am creating the space that all of the temples will be returned to their proper owners, their proper caretakers, who are going to offer the love and bhakti and that devotion that they deserve. Those deities are put here for us. They're here for us. They're installed by great masters and great beings so that we can connect to the divine energy. And it does so much to our system, we don't even realize how much it does. But you can feel an opening up happening in you. And I'm telling you that I know Swamiji is going to make that happen. This is part of what he's doing, reviving Sanatana Hindu Dharma, reviving Hinduism, because the tradition itself is such a life-giving tradition. And it's not only this life, but your being is being healed and opened up to the divine energy, and it's so important. And the deities should never be disrespected because they are a living energy. You know, it's such a sin to me to think that. You know, you wouldn't, put, your grandmother out in the rain if she's sick or something, right? I mean, and that sounds terrible, right? But this is even worse, to mistreat and mishandle deities, because those are living energy. You cannot say they're stone. They're not stone. They're living energy, and just because we can't see it, we can feel it, and we can understand, even by our worship, going to the action of worshiping the divine, because it's only connecting us back into ourself, into our source, because it's all part of us. So I really strongly recommend and ask you to go do a little seva, a little volunteer work at your local Hindu temple, and experience that amazing gift given by Hinduism to the world. Thanks again for watching. Nithyanandeshwara.